Bonne et heureuse année 2024. Happy New Year 2024. Prospero año y felicidad. Hi, everyone. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Jackie. Hi, and thank you for watching this video. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for checking out my channel. For all of those who have been with me for a while, thank you so much for sticking with me. I know my channel is a bit chaotic as I do a little bit of everything, but that's just how I like to be. Une femme de la Renaissance, a real Renaissance woman. I like to share well, not all my gifts, but as many gifts as I can. And in this channel, I mostly share, languages, language lessons, my theater endeavors, and then sometimes I do reviews of things or miscellaneous things, or these type of thing. A reflection of my year 2023. I thought it was really important, not just for you, but for me to do it because 2023 was. I didn't know I was gonna do this. Sorry. 2023 was one of my hardest and also one of my most fulfilling years at the same time. It's strange how that happens, huh? That you're both extremely blessed and so sorry for my voice. I've had a cold, an aggressive one this year for the last couple of days, and so my voice is not in the best condition. But I guess we should start at the beginning. 2023 started in a nightmare fever dream. Um, my mom, who had pancreatic cancer, her condition worsened rapidly from Thanksgiving onwards, and it culminated in January, where she was in so much pain and unintelligible, and we were taking care of her. I was sleeping or not sleeping while we were taking care of her at home, as I felt guilty because I hadn't I hadn't spent as much time and taken care of my mom as much as I should have during the year of 2022 when she, was going through the whole cancer thing. Was not in the best mental state to do so, but I know I could have done so much more and spent so much more time, and I used the excuse that her sister, who lives in France, came and spent a lot of time with us in 2022 into 2023, and she was with her almost at all times. So, as well as my dad. So I thought she doesn't need me as much. And so at the top of 2023, I felt like after all she had done for me, my mom has been my rock. But not only my rock, she's been the rock of this family. Um, she she was the glue that held us all together. She did everything for everyone. Um, she took care of me like no one else when I had flesh-eating bacteria, and I can't thank her enough for that, to be honest. I can't. So, while she was at home and couldn't talk for the most part intelligibly, and would scream in the middle of the night, multiple times of the night, calling for her cousin. Yeah, yeah. I felt it was my duty as her daughter and as someone who just loved her, period, to stay up with her and to sleep downstairs with her and take care of her as she needed, at least throughout the night. And so the first, the last weeks of December and the first week of January, I wasn't sleeping much. And uh, my mom was in such terrible shape. We had to send her to the hospital. And on January 16th, she passed away. And I have been, how to say, doubtful of God's existence, of what is meant to be and not meant to be throughout my life. But I have to say that that day was another indication that God exists and that He knows what's best for me, and He is absolutely guiding me through life. Because, due to COVID, not more than two people could be in the hospital with my mother. And that mostly meant that her sister and my dad wanted to be there most of the time. And she also, one of her cousins, was one of our closest aunts, was here, as well as one of our childhood friends, was one of my mom's closest friends, wanted to see her. So we did a rotation um, with them mostly. But my sister Anne and I had both vied that we wanted to be a part of the rotation and to spend time with her in the hospital. And on that day of January 16th, we made sure that we would be the ones to be there. Um, and so we went there, and then Anne had to do something at some point. So I stayed with her until my dad showed up so that we could switch. Um, and she was, I read, um, I forget the name of the story by Edgar Allan Poe, but I think it's the case of the veritable. Oh, it doesn't matter. But there's a short story that Edgar Allan Poe has written about looking at a man and staring death in its face. And I was struck by how those words came to my memory when I saw my mom. She looked skeletal and like death was on her doorstep. She was breathing heavily. My sister is a nurse, so thankfully, um, we kept asking the nurses and the doctors for them to give something to my mom to help with her breathing and everything they gave her everything and anything that both my sister and my doctor came up with as potential solutions, and nothing helped. She was breathing laboriously and looked like something was out to get her, looked with complete fear. It was horrifying and terrifying. And I'm still horror struck that that was the last time I saw my mom alive was that way. But I'm glad that it was me and my sister and not my younger two siblings, because I don't know. I can't imagine how it would affect them. And I don't even want to imagine. But she passed away. And so all of these events really started 2023 in a terrible place for me. And at the same time, I was working on a production, on two productions actually. I was uh, assistant director for The Hollow with Ketlitz Community Players with my dear friend Amber as the director, and I was playing the other woman in Sarah Rule's um, play. Um, oh gosh, I'm blanking at the moment. But Dead Man's Cell Phone with Nova Night Sky Theater, um, and doing lots of virtual theater, of trying to find as many ways to preoccupy my mind as I could. I found during the pandemic, and it came as a revelation to me through my parents, that storytelling and the art of storytelling is my greatest therapy. It is the way that I am able to process all of these feelings and stories and voices and wants and needs and everything that lives within me, that as someone who has learned to control myself very well, especially when around others, um, theater allows me to express those things and to put out those things without any worry of, of being judged in any way, shape, or form, because it's not necessarily my story, according to, you know, for those who are watching, they may not identify those things as things that are within me. Um, and so it's a liberating way for me to really let go and let be. And this year of 2023 has been one of the busiest years of my life artistically. Um, I was a part of 8 live productions with like one or multiple performances, but a full length plays. Um, and there were several themes that kept on coming back. The theme of loss from Dead Man's Cell Phone, actually, even The Hollow, uh, kept being brought up again and again and again in the stories that I was doing. Loss was in Consecrated Ground by George Boyd. I was playing a mother who, spoiler alert, loses her child. Um, in Gideon's Knot, I was playing a mother who loses her child. In Romeo and Juliet slash Juliet, you know, we know what that story is about. It's about also loss. I think it's about hope as well. And that's something that I hope to explore in this new year of 2024. But loss and the ways in which that we deal with loss and with grief um, kept coming up again and again and again. And in my roles, I was allowed to, especially in Consecrated Ground, I think I screamed and cried the way I wanted to scream and cry when my mother passed away, but I couldn't because I'm the oldest child. Um, I'm the oldest daughter. And if I lost it, then who would be there to support my siblings and my father? Too many people were losing it around us. So my logical side of my brain took over and explained I couldn't lose it. Not at that time, unless I was by myself, which I did take advantage of a couple of times, but there wasn't a lot of time to do that because there was so much to organize, and I'm the organizer of my family, so I organized. Someone sent these 25 New Year reflection questions, and there are several that I think are great. Um, how have I grown in the past year? Uh, I hope, I pray that I have grown to be more compassionate and have more love for those around me, whether I know you or I don't. I want you to win. I want you to have basic human rights. I want you to be able to eat, to drink, to live in a safe space and place, to have health care. I want you to be able to survive and to thrive. And that is every single human being on this planet and every single being in this and other universes. I don't care who you are. I want you to be able to live and not just live for the sake of living. No, to live a good life. And I think That is how I've grown. What positive changes have occurred in my life. Um, God, you, you know, during the pandemic, it was a hard time for most. It was a hard time for me, but also a wonderful time for me. Wonderful time to explore my artistic side and to figure out what my gifts are and what my purpose in life is. And I believe that I have multiple purposes. I don't think that everyone has to have just one passion or any passion for that matter. I have multiple passions. Um, I think my first passion I found is my passion of storytelling, of sharing the stories that I want to share and I want to be told. Um, and this year, I think in 2020, or not this year because we're 2024, but in 2023, well, after 2022 reopened and I did a lot of live theater, I think I was a part of 5 or 6 productions that year. I asked for more. And I said, Lord, I know I did a lot this year, especially when others compare themselves, which they should never do. But when they do, I know I did a lot. I would like to do more. I'm thirsty for more. And God did not disappoint. From again the beginning of the year, I was asked to do more, and whether I auditioned myself or something that occurred a lot in 2023 was that I was asked to audition by both community and professional theaters, and it made me realize that people saw me, that people heard me, that people valued my artistry, and that they wanted me to participate more, and I was happy and willing to participate in any way, shape that I could. Um, and I was blessed to be um, included in some of the best stories that I have read, that I have had the honor to interpret, including real stories, like in Out of the Vineyard, about slavery and the vestiges of slavery, and of freedom suits where slaves um, sued the US for their freedom and their masters, their slave masters, for their freedom. Um, what an honor and a privilege to have been a part of those retellings, of those sharings of such beautiful stories, and stories that everyone should know. Consecrated ground, the way that Nova Scotia basically got rid of all the blacks from Africville who had been there for hundreds of years so that they could build a park for animals and their animal owners. Wild. Um, yeah, I've been really, really, really blessed. Um, and not having my mother around, I I honestly, at the beginning of 2023, didn't know or didn't um yeah, I didn't have faith that myself, let alone my family, would be able to survive it and to make a way through. Um, it sounds foolish, because if you know us, if you know me, many people have told me that that's not a thing, and that they never had that doubt in their minds. But my mom was, is, and forever will be my rock. She, so much of me derives from her, of not just DNA, but also in terms of personality, in terms of taking care of others, and of being responsible and organizing. I think so many of those traits within me come from her. And so, yeah, I never expected that I would have to live a life um, in my 30s, at least, without her. I always assumed she would be with us the longest, because she was so healthy. She went to the gym 7 days a week. She ate so healthily. It made no sense that her, of all the people, would be taken away so soon. She was so young. But I am surprised and happy to say that we are more resilient than we know. Um, some of the hardships, other than, dealing with that, was trying to create and forge relationships in some of the live theater that I was doing. Um, in virtual theater, it's funny, people always say how, and this is not everyone, thankfully, but there are some naysayers who think, oh, it's not possible to connect virtually, and in virtual theater, it doesn't work. And I challenge that. I think I have fallen in love, fallen in lust, hated, despised, cherished, cried over more people virtually than I have with people in real life in the last couple of years. I have made true friendships, people who I consider to be my friends for life. And it has been a few years since I met people that I thought would be friends for life. You know, acquaintances are easy. It's easy to make friends that, are there for when you need them or for the moment, but that you don't rely on them. You don't trust them. You don't really need them in your life. If they were gone, it wouldn't change your life significantly. But a lot of the friendships that I've made during the pandemic, and especially during this year of 2023, are friendships that feed me and that I hope and pray will stay with me for as long as I shall have breath in this body, in this vessel. Um, in fact, I was able to meet some of these lovely humans in the flesh and blood, and it just solidified and deepened our bond, if anything. Um, so I will be continuing to do virtual theater. I've said it before, I'll say it a million times. I will do virtual theater for the rest of my life. If no one decides to do it or continue with it, then I will be the one to make a way no matter what. Sorry, I didn't have time to mute while doing that. I apologize. It's terrible. I know. I'm sorry. But yeah, virtual theater is going to stay in my life. And so I was saying about live theater, um, it's hard to connect with people. I find that I'm a good enough actor at this point that I'm very much able to fake any sort of relationship that needs to be faked when I'm embodying a certain character. But me, Jackie, me, myself, and I, have felt very often with people in my live theater experiences that they are not willing or able or wanting to really truly see me and hear me. You know, they are happy with the aspects of myself that they think they resonate with or that they enjoy, but they don't want to know who Jackie is at her core, who I am 300, like fully realized Jackie, who is a very complex, like everyone else, complex and three-dimensional human, right? With so many different facets. Um, since I was a child, I was told that I was a chameleon, that I adapted to the environments and to the people around me. If the environment is chaotic and there's a lot of energy, then I tend to mute myself. Why? Because I hate cacophony and chaos. And so, well, I don't hate. I do enjoy some sort of chaos and cacophony at times. But um, I know that for most people, balance is important. And so I try to balance in whatever shape feels necessary and helpful to me and to others. And so when I am muted, when I do mute myself, people may think that, oh, she's not a very vibrant, loud, big personality, which a lot of my close friends and family laugh at because that is absolutely who I am. But I'm not just that. You know, there's some people who think I'm only that, only the fun, vibrant, loud, exuberant type, the too much type. And it's no, I have my opposite types, my insular types, my introspective side, my introverted side, my reflective side, my quiet side. Um, I'm not just one thing, and I never will be. And for those who tried to fit me in a box that I did not fit in, they were not able to connect with me because of that. And that saddens me because from infancy to now, I'm the type of person who loves and needs to connect with humans. Even if we don't end up having a relationship post the specific experience that we are in at the moment, I always have a hope um, that it is something that may last a lifetime. I think it's the Senegalese in me who, when you meet someone at the onset of the meeting, they are family. They're not anything else. They're family, period. And you treat them as such. And that's how I tend to treat almost everyone that I meet. Um, I have to confess that in 2023, I wasn't as Senegalese and as open to that as I have been in the past because of being cautious and because of being hurt um, by so many people. And so I was a lot more guarded. Um, and I don't know if that's something that I would like to get rid of. Not get rid of completely, but like to lower in terms of being guarded or not. I guess I'll have to see how 2024 may be. What risks have I taken that I'm glad I took? This year, I dove fully into pursuing this thing called, being an artist, being an actor, being a director. I fully committed myself to auditioning, to putting my name out there, um, to contacting people if need be, to saying yes to as many things as I could, um, to doing the research on how can I make this what was once a dream a reality, and how can I sustain myself while being um, a full-time or more than full-time artist. And I have to say, it's not sustainable in theater. Um, I did a lot of professional productions where I was paid. The majority of my productions in 2023 were paid and were professional theater, um, and far, far from being able to sustain myself and to be able to pay for all of the things you need to pay with that money is not possible. It's not feasible. And so I have to keep thinking in 2024, what are the ways in which I can make this sustainable? I still teach and I love teaching and I will be teaching for the rest of my life. Many, again, people want to box me and think like, oh, she's an artist and that's what she's going to do and that's what she's going to do fully. No, absolutely not. Everyone, I will keep teaching. I love teaching. Teaching will never, ever, ever be something that I don't do. I will also find any which ways that I can use my lawyerly skills, that I have acquired. Um, I do hope if for in the future, I don't have a timeline to be able to take the bar exam and to pass it in so that I can use these legal skills to help people because that is in my heart. I do help some of my friends in any way, shape that I can, not by giving any legal advice because I can't, but by, you know, guiding them to people who do have the answers and who may be able to help, as well as yeah, just putting them on the right track for certain things. And I hope to be able to continue doing that for the rest of my life as well. Um, I had so many absolutely favorite moments from this past year. It's it's hard to uh, to explain all of them and to say all of them. Some of the highlights have been spending time with my three siblings and my father. I love them with all my heart and soul, and I'm blessed to have them in my life. Romeo and Juliet with Chaos Theater Collective was a fundraiser that we did, a one night fundraiser. I think it was on November 19th, Sunday, November 19th in the evening. And I was cast as Juliet, which I thought was insane because I don't, I've never been thought of as Juliet. I'm too big, I'm too tall, I'm too dark, I'm too black, too not pretty enough. All of these things that I've been told either directly or indirectly in terms of playing ingenues in theater, right, throughout my career, from high school till now. And so when you're told these things over and over again, you tend to believe them. Huh, that's crazy how that works. But I thankfully don't believe it. I think that I can play anyone and anything. The only question is, can I play them truthfully? Those are the only questions. And if people don't think that I can, then that's something. If they do, then that's something else. But yeah, surprised and shocked as I was to play Juliet, I don't know what like inhabited me, what spirit took over my soul and my body that day, but I found myself to actually truly embody her and be her and discover all of the joy, the pain, the the fear, the the angst, the solitude, the everything that comes with being Juliet. Romeo has always been my boy. I've always wanted to play Romeo, but there was something that day that just clicked, and I don't know what it was. Maybe it was the Holy Spirit. And I found myself, honestly, because sometimes as actors, sorry if this is a spoiler alert, but sometimes as actors, we push ourselves and we pretend. I know that's our job, and people actually think that that's what we do. No, I don't try to pretend for anything. I try to be honestly in the feelings and the things that I feel at the time when interpreting a being or a thing or and being in a particular situation. I always try to be as truthful and as honest as I can be. That being said, sometimes because of whatever circumstance, we're not able to do so. And so, therefore, we have to pretend. We have to put on a mask and really, just um, put up a front and do it as if we were doing it instead of actually truly feeling it. But that day, I felt everything. Everything hit me. I actually fell in love. Juliet fell in love and fell in love hard that day. Juliet grieved and grieved hard for her cousin Tybalt, for her lost love, for Romeo. Um, I loved and hated my parents, and my nurse, who I felt were both for me and against me. So many things. Um, that was definitely one of my favorite moments of this past year. Another um, favorite moment um, was just some of the beautiful conversations that my family and I had with my mother's family and friends, and to see how much she was loved. And everyone had the same, not everyone, but most people felt the same way in terms of seeing her light and her warmth and how much she loved, and how evident that was in her being and in her actions. I I will forever remember um, the things that were shared, and hold them in my heart, and hope to honor my mother through everything that I do. Um, Another really strong lesson of this year of 2023 was to honor my ancestors, to listen and to honor my ancestors. And I tried to do that in everything that I did. I called on them, and I asked them for their guidance and their love, and especially to the ancestor that has just joined my mother. I asked for her to be there at everything that I did. And I will continuously be calling on them and be asking for their love, their support, their um, I'm thinking in French, leur conseil, anything that they have, their advice, um, anything that they have to share with me, to, to do so. Um, what are some things that I'm looking forward to in 2024? Um, I'm looking forward to maintaining and deepening, if deepening is necessary, the bonds that I have with my family and with my friends. Um, you all feed my soul. You are one of the reasons that I wake up every day, is to be around you, to spend time with you, to share with you. Yeah. I look forward to the stories that are going to come this year. I look forward to seeing what kind of stories will we be doing this year. What kind of stories will God send my way this year? Part of me, the very ambitious and very nonstop and driven person of me, who never wants to sleep, um, wants to be able to do even more live productions than I did last year, which is insane. Insane. Because with 8 full, plays, as well as like 6 stage readings, and then I don't know how many virtual performances, I was doing something every single week, of course, and sometimes multiple times a week. And that was too much. Um, I was very tired in 2023. I don't want to be as tired in 2024. But I think it wasn't necessarily the amount. I know that sounds crazy to some people. I am insatiable. I'm the insatiable type. If I have an addiction, this is my addiction. It's theater, it's stories, it's storytelling. And so I have and I feel a bottomless pit when it comes to that, where I am satisfied. Don't get me wrong. Of course, I'm very satisfied, but I can always absorb more, and I can always have space for more of those within me. And so it's not necessarily about the amount, but about the quality. I'm greedy, and I would like to be a part of as many stories as I can be because I'm so greedy. Um, Hopefully, that's not a bad thing. I hope to take care of my health. 2023 was hard. Um, I managed somehow, some way, and I don't know how to lose weight. And not for me, losing weight is not the goal. The goal is to be healthy. And so I have, you know, things that stemmed from the flesh eating bacteria to today that plague me, and I need to be better. I need to be better at taking care of myself and taking care of my health because without health, what do we have? Nothing. Um, I could die tomorrow because of the health conditions that I have. I don't want that. So I need to be more um, proactive in taking care of my health in 2024, and I hope I really truly do um, put my money where my mouth is and do that. Um, I hope to do a full length movie, whether it's in the DMV or elsewhere. I hope that that happens. I hope to start thinking very proactively about the next steps in my career. I'm very ambitious. I There's so many stories that I want to tell, both as a director and as an actor, and that I want to share with people, both in theater as well as in movies format. And I would like to see where I can go in the US and in the world to make those stories, to get those stories out there and to get those stories told. It's very important to me, very, very important to me. So I want to move forward in that, um, move forward in the projects, the many projects that I have in mind, both theater, movies, and books that I've started or not started, that I would like to produce and have out there for consumption by all of you and in the rest of the world. Um, I want to be more intentional in my faith. Um, this year has been really hard for me, not in terms of like belief or loving, but to be consistent in my faith. I haven't been, and I know this year will be another year. And maybe I'm making an excuse ahead of time, but I think it'll be another year of transition and hardship. But I hope to be more consistent in terms of that. Um, I hope that I'm blessed to find my person this year. Um, I feel like I say this every year, but I've been ready for love, for a real love, for a deep love for my partner since I can remember. I mean, I remember in undergrad being like, yeah, I could totally get married. And here we are. um, when we are, and I haven't found that person. And I would love, love, love to find that person just because, I'm blessed that I have family and friends and collaborators and humans with which I can share my life, burdens, and blessings. But there's something about having a partner, about having somebody with you who's there to share in all of the things that you are and that you live. Um, I need that. I want that. I hope to find that in this year, 2024. So all of y'all, and like he doesn't have to be here in the US. If he's abroad, yo, send him. Just know I need a couple of things though. Like, yeah, uh, ask me for my non-negotiables. And I think we are coming to a close of my reflection of 2023. Thank you so much for those of you who end up watching this. Thank you for watching. You know, that's all I can say. Thank you for watching. Um, Thank you for allowing me a platform to be vulnerable and to show who I am, and parts, like some scary parts of who I am that I don't enjoy sharing with everyone. Um, I try to do this every year, whether it's on my channel or to myself or with friends and family, because I feel like I learn so much about myself and about my journey when I do those things. If you would like to share anything whatsoever, please feel free to reach out. My email is cestjackie@gmail.com, CESTJACKIE@gmail.com, CESTJACKIE@gmail.com. Message me here. Those of you who know me, you have my number. Call me, text me, beat me, do whatever you need to reach me. I love you. Je vous aime. Vraiment, vraiment, vraiment. Je vous aime de tout cœur. And before I leave you, I generally like to do like a poem or something, or before I finish these reflection videos. I remember in 2020, I had a poem that I created myself, that I wrote myself. I don't have that for this year. Sorry, didn't have the stones to do that. No, something that came to mind right away when I thought about doing this reflection was one of Prospero's monologues in The Tempest in Act 4, Scene 1. I last year had the honor and privilege of being a part of three Tempests journeys, adventures, including the one at Roundhouse, which was like truly magical, like incredible, made me see some parts of Shakespeare and of how to tell the stories of Shakespeare in a whole different light, and classical stories, and any story for that matter. But this this monologue after that third time really hit, and I just thought, I love this. So I'll do it. I'm not doing the full monologue. I'm stopping in a specific place for a specific reason. But I will leave you with this, and then I'll say goodbye for now. You do look, my son, in a moved sort, as if you were dismayed. Be cheerful, sir! Our revels now are ended. These, our actors, as I foretold you, were all spirits, and melted into air, into thin air. And like the baseless fabric of this vision, the cloud-capped towers, the gorgeous palaces, the solemn temples, the great globe itself, ye all which it inherit, shall dissolve. And like this insubstantial pageant faded, leave not a rack behind. We are such stuff as dreams are made on, and our little life is rounded with a sleep. Happy New Year. May 2024 be filled with blessings aplenty, with great health, with great wealth, with love, with joy, with peace, and with everything and anything that you may need. Bonne et heureuse année, mes amours. À bientôt, j'espère. Et que Dieu vous bénisse. Au revoir.